Why is Shedeur Sanders still not the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns? Some former NFL stars weigh in on Shedeur and the situation. We're going to talk about what's going on in Cleveland. Welcome into the Browns Report, everybody. I am your host, Joey O'Donohue, and it's going to be a fun episode here talking about everything that's going on with 12. But hit that subscribe button if you want the constant updates, if you want to know what's going on with the Cleveland Browns, with the quarterbacks, with Shedeur. I got you covered with everything Browns news. Hit that subscribe button and join the family. Okay, the first quote that we're going to look at is, well, probably the more passionate one of the two. It's from former NFL corner Aqib Talib, who had this to say about the Browns not starting to Shedeur. They said, hating ass, Kevin Stefanski has a personal vendetta against him. Get the F on. He should have been playing no matter what. Stefanski got to go. Some harsh words there from Aqib Talib. And I will say, the Browns are not treating this like a quarterback competition, which is what we were told it would be in the preseason, right? You drafted two rookies, and I think everyone expected that each would get a fair shot. It's clearly been Dillon Gabriel is who they're trying to make the starter for the year. Shedeur's not been given any reps. He never got reps with the first-teamers in preseason, nor in the regular season. Gabriel had, and obviously Gabriel was named the starter. Shedeur has not been put into a regular season game this year, ladies and gentlemen. Even when we were blowing out the Dolphins, up 31-6, 4 minutes left. You keep the starters out there? Kind of weird. And he's only been active once on game day as quarterback 2, and then week 8, ruled inactive with a back injury. They brought up Bailey Zappi. They're saying he's going to try and be QB2 this week against the Jets. We'll keep you posted on Shedeur's injury, see if they actually activate him. But clearly the signs show that they have not been trying to go to Shedeur. They're not trying to prepare him to come in and turn to him eventually. And I just asked the question, why are they not having this conversation? Are you watching Dillon Gabriel right now? Where was the evaluation? I never understood the draft pick. And we tried to give him a fair shot. Look, obviously that's what Cleveland was going to do, was start Gabriel. But you cannot tell me that he looks good. You cannot point to any part of his film right now and justify that he should be the starting quarterback still. And that's the truth. And look, I know there's a lot of problems with the Browns. That falls on a lot of issues on offense that we're going to talk about. But Gabriel's stats as a whole are just dreadful. His passing grades, worst among starting quarterbacks. His yards per attempt is 4.9. We don't throw it. Shedeur would take some shots. We need a little bit more juice, a little bit more excitement. Our average completion is 3 yards, ladies and gentlemen. And look, the bad play is a combination of our issues on offense, right? The offensive line, the wide receivers, but it is also the quarterback. It's a combination of the two. And when you couple that, that's why you get the offense that we're watching right now. So I don't understand why Cleveland is not starting to say, all right, well, let's make it a competition. No, they've shown no indication of that. It makes no sense to me. And the difference is, you don't want this to be a revived quarterback situation, right? Like a lot of people think, well, it is the system. The Browns are terrible everywhere on offense. And if Gabriel went somewhere else, I'm sure he'd look fine. Yeah, maybe he look fine, but he wouldn't look like any of these guys that we've seen, like a Baker Mayfield, like a Sam Darnold, like a Daniel Jones, that have completely struggled in one system and then immediately benefited by going somewhere else, especially Baker, who's in MVP conversations right now. However, these quarterbacks were drafted very early in the first round. Baker was the first overall pick. You all remember that. And then we got Denzel Ward at 4. Great draft for the Browns. Nick Chubb in the second round, 2018 as well. Sam Darnold was the 3rd overall pick in that draft. Daniel Jones was the 6th overall pick. Dillon Gabriel was never evaluated to go this high. Shedeur was. He didn't. Obviously, some pre-draft interviews and other theories that people have why he slid in the draft. But as a talent, he was always projected to be in that top round. That's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. So, if anything, it would be a situation of Shedeur struggling in the Browns offense and then going somewhere else like one of these quarterbacks and balling out. That would not be the case with Dillon Gabriel. I don't see the star power in number 8 from what we've seen so far. And look, I do think there's a scheme issue in Cleveland. I do think that maybe this isn't the best place to throw Shedeur into right away. But that doesn't discount the fact that he's got the higher ceiling, and as a team that's trying to win games, every team should be trying to win games. It's literally against league rules to tank. If your quarterback's playing terribly, you have to have that conversation. Quarterbacks under Kevin Stefanski, though, well, here's your list, ladies and gentlemen. It's not been pretty. And clearly there is a scheme issue in Cleveland. A lot of these guys that we've talked about struggled awfully in the Browns offense or played much better when they left, like Baker Mayfield, like Joe Flacco this season. So I don't understand what we're doing. Why are we keeping everybody here? It might be time to blow the whole thing up. If you have that much of a sample size, that's all quarterbacks with Kevin Stefanski. We can't let Shedeur or the next quarterback that we draft end up being the next Baker Mayfield, where they're stifled in Cleveland and then flourish when we move on from them. If we're going to find the guy, you need to right the ship. That not only means getting offensive linemen and wide receivers soon, which we didn't do on trade deadline day, but you might have to completely clean house. If Stefanski can't develop a quarterback, what are we doing? So I really think Shedeur has the talent. I really do. And we're going to talk about how the Browns system might be a dangerous place to throw a rookie. What do you think Jimmy Haslam should do, Browns fans? Fire Kevin Stefanski? Type KS. Fire Andrew Berry. Is the GM the problem? Type AB. Or do we need a whole clean house next season, ladies and gentlemen? Type CH if you think the Browns should just clean house, start over, and start developing some quarterbacks. Speaking of Browns quarterbacks, a former Browns QB, pretty good one for us back in the day, weighs in on Shedeur Sanders and the situation here in Cleveland. You're not going to want to miss what Bernie Kosar had to say about the Browns right now. Before I dive into the former Browns legend, though, I'd love to tell you that this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Football is in full swing now on Sundays. All is right with the world, and I'm big into daily fantasy with Prize Picks. I'm obsessed with it because it makes all the games more entertaining. And before the Browns play, I lock in on all my players in my lineup and their player projections. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. You can also follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. You can find my lineup in there as well if you'd like. You know I've got Quinshon Judkins in it. More than 79.5 rushing yards against the Jets. I love that pick. Jackson Dart, more than half a passing touchdown against Chicago. And Bryce Young, more than half a passing touchdown against the Saints. That's my lineup. Try and make some money. But to do that, you got to download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at what Bernie Kosar had to say. He shares his thoughts on the Browns quarterback situation, specifically Shedeur Sanders, and if he should be playing or not. Bernie Kosar said, I'd like to see Shedeur. I want to see him. You will see him. But we tend to massively ruin young men when they play prematurely, void of talent. So I love that young man. I want to see that young man succeed. I just think you're going to stunt his growth. Now, there's a point to be made here. You know, other teams in NFL history, like the Packers, for example, a lot of their great quarterbacks waited a couple years. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre. Jordan Love then sat behind Aaron Rodgers. People didn't understand why they drafted Rodgers' successor in a draft randomly. It was weird at the time, but after a couple years, they found that Jordan Love was the guy. So, sure, we've seen cases of that in NFL history. The difference in those cases, those are good quarterbacks in good systems. Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest talents at the quarterback position we've ever seen. So In the Packers system, Green Bay, and they've always done a great job. It's not been the case for the Cleveland Browns. So, sure, you could let Shedeur wait a little bit. But then what? When he finally gets in, if we're still a dumpster fire, how would that have helped? Now just years have gone by. It's looking like if the Browns season continues the way it is, on track that it is on, it will be a clean house next year in Cleveland. That means no Andrew Berry. That means no Kevin Stefanski. Heck, Jimmy Haslam might need to sell this dang team. I wish he would. It's not going to happen, though. They just got a brand new stadium coming in 2029. But this is the pace that Cleveland is on right now, folks. It's what you're looking towards. And sure, it could benefit Shedeur to wait it out. Let Stefanski get up out of there. Berry get up out of there. Get a new system. A coach that develops quarterbacks. I mean, Stefanski loves play action. His offense, though, has never been great for developing QBs. He didn't bring the most out of Baker. Offensive line is so bad that play action plays take too long to develop. And all of a sudden, you get what we're watching from Dylan Gabriel, which is short, quick completions, dangerous throws, or Joe Flacco forcing it, 8 turnovers. So getting reps now, I think, would help Shedeur more than waiting out the system. Get some NFL experience. The system's still going to get blown up if it's not working. You're still going to lose Stefanski next year if the Browns have an awful rest of the season. So put Shedeur out there for a couple games. Practice makes perfect. That's what they say. Get him some reps in an NFL setting. Get him some reps behind the scenes. What we're watching from Gabriel more than warrants this conversation being had of a quarterback controversy in Cleveland. When will it happen, though? Let's take a look at the rest of the Browns' games on the slate. It's not going to be Week 10 against the Jets. We know that. I think you're going to see Gabriel against Baltimore as well. Tough test. And then there's a conversation to be had because there's some easier games on the schedule. If you lose this one to the Ravens, it's the only one you could probably chalk off. The rest of the games, very winnable. And if we can't beat the Jets, the Titans, or the Raiders, it's blow it up, bench the quarterback. After this, a lot of experts said maybe the last 4 games of the season would be guaranteed to be Shedeur's. I could see that being the case, but I would bookmark that earlier Titans game I showed you. Cam Ward versus Shedeur. Those were supposed to be the top 2 quarterbacks in the draft. Didn't pan out that way, and Cam Ward has not looked good at all. Let's be real. So when's the perfect timing, Browns fans? Is it later in the season, or should Shedeur start right now? Type Y for yes in the comment section. Type N for no if you don't think he should, if you don't think he's ready, or you think it'd be best for him to wait. But give me a Y or an N in that comment section. Should he be our starting quarterback? I say, what do you got to lose right now? And guess what? Keep laughing at me, but the Browns are not out of it. They're really not. 3 games back of first in the AFC North. It's not a tank job just yet. Try to win some football games. And Gabriel's not giving you the best chance right now. So I don't see what you have to lose. Evaluate the other quarterback you drafted. I've seen enough. Going over to X, follow me at Joey070. If you made it to this point in the video, you are a real one. We appreciate you so much. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like I said, got you covered with daily Cleveland Browns news, content. It's just fun to talk about our favorite team, folks. And I'm going to give you everything you need to know and what's in the news for the Browns. Thank you so much. Hit that sub button, and we'll see you next time.